Mama, your mamma Joe, and Mamma Kwaba, Eba United Television. So, your Cassia boy, Sakafi or Mamo, after my who will be so, and your son said there's some drastic back where enemy. Here comes a ship house at the Kajanshin, and your walk. Now, here comes this way chocolate drink, this way coffee drink, this way 1, 2, 3, this way non-dirty creamer. Kasebwa for hoka, specialized in seal and a special drink, and for best point saving saloons, best assurance. You to chine need for full liter back, Wumina, Afakasibwe, who ekebi. Now, the baby marketing be and say about to you code any party out on a namus for share, air to getting at their fan, you know, and yet do not buy a 2 year and the obey at their boy may about to.
Sanso and Abato Commission Noa Eddie Afutu Abasagana for Ensheni Mapa a free 2020 elections no mobile. Na ye adwene em free basabasaya kakra e baye no.
So far we no share in Sasia hu sam so Eddie wiem hyen afa wiem ahwe sadia yensuo esi aye efa galamsey tuo.
Na oswafo a wohwe nkramanta mi so ene asrafo be te se ahensia ayensiesie adwumadie bi e wo nkran kodua ha aprapra nkran ha ama ha atenwan. Na
yekosa hwi kuroba kwa friends hwi mere wanso a woma ye kire na mo ye che mo ye nyina kire se galamsey ku omododo
na adwadifo a wo mo edi fango hu dwa nkabomko edi aba monten se yenhwe animu se na wotwe mu fango bo besan akoso
ensem bi ka ho na ye nuano mienu ye se adwa ye de eba beso mo akenkanfo a mo hwe na nwumre ye eyeme Agya Kwabena mene
Adwoa Obiyaa Obeng
Afrika sabone mu nsam nie abato adwumakuo no eye electoral commission de nanu esiwo nanu hye mo omo ye enye omo nkwa na mo no parties awdo na ewo manga na mu no ena ono omo ehia eye APAC meeting na saa dwumadi ase no Ewragen adukoi mensa ono no ye pani oda electoral commission no ekasa dwumadi na ase na ochirichiri mu se mfimpimienu ne adu na ba ye to ye no de ma hodo ekoso ye ni de anko ye nyina no ne nyina de mo bu nkompo na mo tumi ahwe asiesie no no de adwempo mienu ena eba ye so susu se abato eto a ye kan no ye wie be ye anwumre nonum no omo esusu se ye famra no miensa afi eno achi nso no se ye to aba ne ye nyina da koro ye se ekotwire din no ye ma nya ne sa na mo no anka be ya ye mabre afimu no nyina obi nya fiedu nwotwe a na wakokotwe din saa nti ebedubre beto aba no na obi atumi ahwe ne din na afi niam ahodo susu se betumi aboa ama abato hye akọ anim no eno enene nkoto adwene e de fa ho.
Some proposals we put forward for discussions as follows. We propose as a commission to close the polls at 3 p.m. rather than 5 p.m. In 2019, the commission announced its decision to close the polls at 3 p.m. rather than 5 p.m. in the 2020 election. Nonetheless, owing to the COVID-19 pandemic and the stringent and necessarily time-consuming safety protocols we instituted at our polling stations, we were compelled to put this proposal on hold. Again, we propose to do away with the system of periodic nationwide registration exercises and institute an all-round system where citizens who turn 18 or persons who have not previously registered may visit any district's office in Ghana with their Ghana card or passport and register as voters. This will help to do away with the nationwide registration exercises and go a long way to reducing the cost of our elections. We further propose a year-round exhibition system that will enable citizens check their registration details on their smartphones and other mobile devices. Citizens would not need to wait for an organized exhibition exercise to check their details. They will be able to do so all year round. Again, we propose to build further efficiency into our collation process by focusing on data entry only at the constituency collation center. This means that the entry point for data capturing into the system will be at the constituency collation center. The data will then be made available at the regional and national levels. Flowing from the data captured at the constituency collation center, the system at the regional level will generate its own report, and at the national level as well, without the need to further capture data and to input data into, the pink sheets and so on. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, We have much to discuss in the 2 days ahead of us. However, it is discussions such as these that have led to the successes I've enlisted above. And so I entreat that we enter the discussions with candidness, objectivity, and open-mindedness.
Adwoa Commission Jane Adukwe Mensana or the Afutu Amagana for say. Yanshani papa a free 2020 elections no ebaye mum. Na yen yadwini emfri basabasa ye kakra ebaye efi say eno enebe tumi aboa yen na yetumi akon akoyenim. Na sansem we nyina odi tudwa ene ewo IPAC meeting a ekoso ewo nkran kroduam hase.
It is important at a point in time that we must come together as actors and stakeholders in Ghana's electoral processes to take stock of the processes, strategies, and approaches we adopted in the 2020 elections, highlight the areas that need to be strengthened, and build consensus on a reform agenda for the Commission for the coming years. This is important to gain insight and understanding of why certain targets were not achieved. We pause to celebrate the successes we achieved as a nation in carrying out elections under such circumstances, with a decorum and a level of efficiency that earned us, as a country, the admiration of our neighbors across the sub-region and the international community as a whole. Why should we gloss over our achievements while the international community applauds us? As a nation, as a commission, and as stakeholders, it is important that we recognize the feats we achieved through the 2020 electoral process for the purpose of documenting best practices and experiences, and to ensure that the successful strategies we adopted do not fall through the cracks of inordinate fault finding and critique. We need to acknowledge the fact that it took less than 6 months to conduct a presidential and parliamentary elections that would usually take 2 months to undertake. We need to celebrate the fact that in spite of the COVID-19 pandemic and its uncertainties, as a country, we were able to undertake all our electoral processes, from the preparation of a brand new voters register with over 17 million persons in 38 days, through to the exhibition of the register, to the filing of nominations, and to election day, without the spread of the COVID-19 virus. Ladies and gentlemen, let us celebrate the absence of long queues at almost all polling stations nationwide, at the time when advanced democracies such as the United States of America experienced very long queues for several days at their polling stations. It is important that we document policies and processes that led to the absence of long queues. We need to celebrate the fact that for the first time in our history, the government of Ghana financed the elections in its totality, and there was no donor assistance or funding. This is something we need to celebrate as a country. As a country, we reduced the cost of elections from $13 per head to $7.70 per head per person. It is not often that we hear such news, and how this was achieved certainly needs to be documented. We need to highlight the fact that as a nation, we succeeded in saving our dear country a whooping sum of 90 million United States dollars. That is 522 million Ghana cedis, at the time when the cost of elections world over keeps increasing. And mind you, these savings were achieved in spite of additional costs associated with the COVID-19. And here I'm referring to the procurement of PPEs and materials and the airlifting of our offshore items, which came at huge costs.
We are saying a shank camera HSS would do krumua, baby any power, baby school, hospital war, baby did journey, baby at Tisanwa. Brika Obekono, I have frequency Adwoa 30 kilometers. Na so Ghana had to say do baby a Dwamuna pin, Brika shim, Bonkrofu Kunkum Na no engineer may Obeng Yeboah, our no Road Safety Commission, and as authority penny or down no to jechim say samra sashen kafudi so betumi aboy sansa fi ahyase ebepim say say aye kasa yi no nipa de okron son na ka abo mo nkran ha ya anka ese bibia ka no bo mo no ebo wo mo
wo opepon meche general kopim oforisio epo bosumi wa afi wese mu no enipa be aduokron enso 79 na ka ku omo ewo enkran we enti enempinifo a omohwe road safety authority so edi afutuo amashenkafo se eni kwase ekọ america tente wo kromu eboro 30 kilometers per hour maame me obri yeboa a wo no eye kwanchefo panyi edema national road safety authority na din semwe etudwa ebra na UN global road safety week ne yeda na di ewo enkran
na wotwi global road UN global road safety week into say amanse nyina edi saa afahye ya yenga na fo ye ka UN ho yentimi ye ho free mo eno nti theme omde ma ye no so kire se wo se ahyen anase vehicle se enam kromu ana bebi ankrofo wo no ekọ 30 kilometers per hour ye de ye fo aso ye mra no kra kanisa ukotwa ye mra regulation 16 of the LI 2180 e kanisa se shen bi nam bebia schools wo anase asori ana marketer e se 30 kilometers per hour nti ye de emra ne ka no na UN nso afo aso nti ye nso ye say ye bo hu dewro na wotwi mu nyina bebi bia ebekọ no ye bo hu dewro se Obiyaa support sa 30 kilometers per hour no na ye nim se car bo obi at sa speed na survivor ye very high nipa no ne nkwa de enya ade a obewu
amrado edema enkramantemi onumunyafo Mohammed Ajeso wa enso ekasaye.
I intend to provide the necessary leadership, the necessary support for all and sundry to make our city safer and livable. That is what we are calling for. The 30 kilometers per hour, it is non-negotiable. And every driver who had gone through the procurement of a driving license should be aware of this. You don't need a speed limit sign anywhere where traffic and human beings mix to know that you are supposed to drive at 30 kilometers per hour. We joined hands with the National Road Safety Authority and the police to ensure that this issue of road crash fatalities is seen as a public health matter for all of us to put our effort into it.
Na commanding officer Edema Central MTTD ewo enkran ACP Martin Ayim enso smode etu edwani.
Normally in build up areas it should be 30 kilometers per hour. Then when you go to the motorway, which is of course now becoming a build up area, it should be 100 kilometers. But in all this, you need to find out what is on the road, the situation on the road before you go go on that speed. If there's a lot of traffic and you cannot speed, you don't necessarily see that because the speed limit is 100 kilometers per hour. I must necessarily go by that. And thank God by the enmity of AMA and Bloomberg initiatives, we have a laser cam 4 machine, which we've started using long ago. And so we're going to enforce that or ensure that we carry on speed enforcement in almost all the major routes in Accra.
Oswafo ohwe nkranmantam ha ene asrafo be yete se ahensia ayensiesi adwumadie bi ewo nkrankodua mu ha prapra krom ama krom atimi atenwan na sa clean up exercise we de toso mienu a honorable Henry Court ya waye ya ode aprapra nkrankodua mu ha sisi atumi afa ntoma pa afrapa.
Se wonam graphic road kwantempon so abehu center abodan ene scrap dealers no agye ho no mo aboso eye ama ho no mo ayehu entinkramantem suafo onumunyafo Henry Court edi bambofo anim ama yakotu sankrofo ni nyade afiri ho no na afeso ya prapra ho no mo adodo ho kama ama ho no mo ayefepa we eka dwumadi a osoafo no edi ebema enkran ayefe na ayekra behwe ebro onumunyafo Court ene sentrofo ekasa no okire musie nyade yenta no okini yenhwe ensiesie enkran.
As part of the Let's Make Accra Work agenda, one of the areas we are looking at is both sanitation and decongestion. Now, if we Obiyaa stretch also, adequate UTC, there was scrap dealers, slums, all the way to UTC. Now, my person some trouble no more come phone so na mo check it. E-waste, Ghana. Agbogbloshi has been rated between first 10 in the world. E-waste. When it comes to slums, in fact, e-waste, say number 1 in Africa. Oh, now Uber slums are number 10. 80,000 population, and that is BBC reporting that between this side and Agbogbloshie, there are 80,000 people who constitute a slum. Now, opening Ghana kama krabeshe. Now say we are smiling and say any tosu baku. You pollute we are say. Africa. Any tosu edu. Slums wo ha. Mijiri sense some trophy some boy. Na Ghana dinibonia o nyampono enka ye momode ne ensisa kakra da kuma konkompe efi president Kufo mresuto ena ban pe asase ma omo 80 acres se wo nko wo matrasia over 20 years wo nko na ye ne o makasa voluntarily, and I use the word again, wo mankasa ayesa fedi omo beko nti ene no assembly no the congested kwan ho o san say o ko ho no left and right na untimi ko ene no wo ma bro assembly no o ma clear kwan ho nyina onyame adoma enche wo mo be ko o ma sase no so na kire say dakuma konkope onyame adomo a it will be a thing of the past.
Ahusiesie adwumadie ebi ekoso okokompe baabi omoton spare parts no ehon so abankra chipenyi onumanyafo kofi ofori ekasaye
o effort e put play ya bebe busumi ni ya no maka ka nti ene de ba say ye ba be yi omu nyina fia na hada ho say ne be traffic ni be flow pavement ni de ye mpene mo bia mfa pavement ni adwuma already government among baabi a omonko ebi ko akabi nti ye be sure so omo so omo ha no omu nyina be ko o ye de ye be ma ye guard abaha tem bia abehwe ye be ba abehwe tem bia ba ye gigi se omu so ade na ye no ye bebre fe nti omo kasa no hada ho a e be bo omo kasa omo adwuma
say aha say no ye di dwa wa ha edwadie na ye die no Obiyaa wade a woton but ade ye say wo a kwan be dem ama wo Obiyaa ne store ni no no so timi ato na de no enka be boa because Obiyaa na ne store ni no we Obiyaa ko pake o baby na onipa ko nya kwan entumi ema ne store meto ade e be dam na yiye but se sunke say Obiyaa ye no Obiyaa de ne de ko no store mu a me gidi say Obiyaa dwadie be koso ama ne ge me fo no so adam me fo no so ne o ye na ye papa e be bo man no eye ni gedie enti ase ye ma ne ye fe
ye be fi adwumawura ne dwumadi ahodo wo die so ye bona ba so wonko so no yere ne ho adwuma na de na so no so wo yere ne ho a ye nyina beta na chi ama otumi aye ama na efefe mi ahodo bi o se woko eno so yenso ye betia na so ama na akọ na atumi aboa na ye de nsam no beto na fi yakọ onunyamfo Steven Amoa ono na ye kwankyerefo pani a oda masloka no wo kire se kasi bi ho sam be de jawo magana mu no sa ba sisi ne mu mako be ye oha mu chemu adokunu nsia de ye adwuma dumienu pe na enya adwuma sanse kasi sa kasi no asai wo de tudwa wo bra na okasa critical issues so wo UTV.
Let's address this issue critically once and for all. Any form of assault on anybody, not only media practitioners, must be condemned. It is a catch, you know. I am passing your bona, and yet you could make a set here. Okay. In this modern day dispensation of our democracy, and yet cry. But madam, you be a question back. In the say to honor, media can pick up paper, pen, social media platform, and destroy anyone. Some of us, you know what we've gone through. Me say, Opa me shagana fobo. Sadi wenye bedru be Obiyaa ankokoto. Obiyaa ankokot, Obiyaa amfre police. People will begin to protect their own reputations at any cost. Go yen so address it.
Media for abuse.
Beba say yeti wey. Eniema media timi tro fa nkrofo ho. Ensem wo bitimi tra say atru gu obi anim ase. Edu points of person kokota ni abepa wo chew. Ene de ye nka wo. Okay. Enti yesese ye tu akurafo a into momonefo. Name it way. Maslok. Even when we had not even imported any car. Never. Even government had not given us a personal. Go and check the media. Hey, I imported home use cars, second hand cars, 28 point something million. Ya ba me, ya we mus can be put that. Me, ya woman say, me say, it will be put that.
Yeah, mama skebiasa. Because there's source of circle the same way now. Must not be
Nina say I don't start by. But Nina fake news.
Nina fake news.
Madam, see media here. Masro sarcasm we. Ya can one same free tiama. Even city hall makoka sa order. Joy. I was Manesse and Evans. And I'm free Imani. Some say Franklin Kujo. Emma Sadan Kram Franklin Kujo in Abanta and catch and say he was suffering from unconscious incompetence. Because somebody of his caliber should touch all stakeholders before we make a comment. Because no, or say Masro Kaye highway robbery or something. I'm going to say Masro can we help no check it. The fact of the matter is that Masro kasi be a year juma and ye and say any national security.
Any national security.
The
own national security then.
National security, I think about is it 12 or 13 cars. And a factory defect any juma. The
cars in Yeduma. Yes, by Maslow cars.
Yes, what remember, you had the 350 cars in the buy. 350 cars. Buses, 100. And a small cars, 350. If you are me, because you intimate class or against a fornication, there are other things that will pay for. Cars and by GPRT for say, how many NDC leadership, not former President Mahama, I'm talking about Maslow, went to Egypt to inspect cars and agreed on specs or more pay. How many buses in a buy instead of 6cc, not the 4cc engine for pickups and a them and almost cars wait to check it.
Okay.
So lower prices no time the buy not one bus who convert it to dollars. Now about $106,000 as of that time. Retail price when you wholesale. Our Ghana after taxes in Obiyaa was $82,000.
$82,000.
Yes, we would papers now. Maybe I may yes, I may be many. What they are not in China. Now, buses we know. Yeah, and taxes was so. You see, and go for my deep bonnet. I am near man fatano. Near to no actually. Now, what? Usually, make a crack. Air Force, me means I'm your swab fool. Means I'm your perfect. But it looks like Ghana integrity the income wasn't. Maybe office man about. You can call him.
Obaho.
Yes.
Okay.
Imani, as man and crop Obaho. It didn't in Imani, I feel don't catch and scrap Maslow. Okay. People who knew Maslow should come and check there today. You see,
there's no wrongdoing on Maslow part. But anyone among the cars they buy.
There be
the cars Obaho na cars no more important.
Yes. And no mind trading. Me come up na politics in doors because if people push us and near my baba out ne bia obeka so cassette you.
Why it was
remember?
Adwadifo a omudi fango hu dwa nkabomku e de aba monten se wona wotwe ye mu yenhwe animu se fango bo bitumi akosoro na wo mo eka ne se ya na akwakopie se eye amansan dwaso no fango bo no atumi akọ animu edinti ye hu behia se ye betumi apagya Ghana de mu na ene no akọ benkrom.
This week the ene ya bayasam amanoni se de petrol ni bo de kosoro no nti kosura o say so your person we kakrebi say the ma biti the regulation here there say competition no obi wa obi ma fakari na we obi ma fakakra we so on fa bi kura din na abema nti dai don't say the price no esesa nti say won't mean top fuel price obi dey higher we local crowd which ma ko hono akoto aban dey say dey the be taxes in fuel. Taxes no do good. The taxes no do so. And so you feel so you're gonna for so beka say here we. The also question say you're gonna for then they pay. So si person buy the taxes better fuel so you can just buy say for fuel no for taxes into fuel so. Here you might say I might so here tax or the so. Neaji ni la mano because ye hona comfort petrol ni free te ya na eche ni la mano e kwa aban ko ma ehwe yo ye jiji we sika nyina o ma ehwe kasabi ko biji usika ma ka so wan kakra aso ye hwe so ye be jama ban te de juwa ya no na se Ghana for free say taxes in here he Ghana for you know say mbo akone ka cha ban say taxes in here Saturday the mechanic say be ko so kakra every amanoni so the petrol beko and I feel so yes I stabilize kakra with the dollar there I stabilize with the pound sterling na IBB but enti amanoni asem na say wo mu ya to mu there and say yes I enam May ni because June if say ko July na wa here and then masako so bi
Ewi adishimama madawroma moma yenkwato nkra se yeba yekase ebo no yebeto aso.
Adishimi mama mu nyina akwaba hugusu a ehwe UTV anwumrebrem kasebo ye toa kase no eso
wakuba kwa manga na sese ni abra ye kotidenden egalamse bitwahwe na ya bra na se na bo yesu ne ekwa abreto ho ban na se de nyina yinim na UTV yenso agina mu se ebedi aban no ne soafo na chi masa hye na tumi aye yenti no de besi bia no yetwa mfoni ama mutumi ehwe bi na dai na osoafo hwe yesase ho nsem so onanyamfo Samuel Abu Jinapo ene asrafo mpanimfo ne mpanimfo a ewo na so no edi wiemhyen helicopter ibi ekofa wiemhye sede galamse ase yensuo ewo fifi mantem atoye mantem apue mantem ana fe asante mantem na bra omnam wiem omukọ no kwasem ni sede subonte pra asiaye sede mu siachichem na so na ye fi na se na wudura ye ne mana kwa breto so ye se no na eyase fem sempa wokwaye no onam wie no mfoni ahudo atwa ne nyina de danse trodo so manga na bibie dro no yedun pempenso bi a ye namowuo ene nkwanta a yenso ebenom eni nuane ahudo ebedie nyina no sese ho asem no aye bibie obi ase anhwanye ho bibi pa ne manim ye de a ebeyire pa na brodu anyinam enwo etiwa ismansim wapue mantem no odonyafo abuginapo edeto amafo nanim se omane ye nyina ye man enu te ho behia se bibi ebeye bia no ye bebo ade bobre niam ho ban yenso ne yakwaye ho ban esanse akirima nso ene ya yete wo nanempo no ade a saa niam nyina no ebeboa me yetumi nya nkwatenten enti wosre se wommoa se de galamse bebrebe ekoso enu ebetumi ahwe na yayi afiri ho abo yenso ne kwabreto ho ban wosese be yi a anka wommo ho no enye ekueku ahodo eye cooperative groups ahodo se de be ya mwa bi omuhia fi aban ho bia no aban so betumi de ama omo na omodwuma mo ye no so atumi akoso wosan kire se ho behia se bro matu gold na wie no womu nuanua se de be ya bebi anua no ewo no mutwagu ye no so no enuom bedua na sama na atumi asan agina bio enti foni a wo hwe ye subonten pra ne ebremu ene mia hodo a odonyamfo Samuel Abu Jinapo ene na pamfo ekoye ekokohwe sede galamse ese yensuo ene okwa betumi afaso na yabre no ase UTV bebi abekobia ebedi achi foni abenje bia ne yebetwa ama watumi ahwe ne yehu bebi a galamse edi yeduru ene de sese ye edefa ho
na wasasem we ya hu no eye osoafo ohwe ensase ene obade ne pa atwa ye hu ahia no de atodwa ya wo kirem se aban ani abrepa se krodom ya o hwe kwan obefa so atu galamse no ase ewo oman Ghana mu no de sansem we nyina tudwa wa bra one na nanam trankovia mo apuoye mantamu ehia ya na omo hwe hyehyɛ pa ye betim de agufom atu galamse no ase ewo oman Ghana mu
very revealing, you know.
Jumapa and a bino edition in so. Mumayena yen tiny. Cecilia idea, Yebeka say, Yeduma and Abia Orche. Nanso that's no a higher baby. Ye say or mine a bayache, and ye yen resuke, and a yebefa galam says, so a sell man. Since yes, say, I do not be brave or hope. Say, Maya Hokai, near ye have been free. Or Kwabena, they fast so a 2 mine now. You bring a Dumaya.
Let I go. And I'm whom you are. Yunkran Bonnet, many a soldier and penny for a helicopter for him. I share senior Jumano Moya netie. Namasem ye tia. O man penina na adodan kwakufuado, and as mammy say, Memra meshe a Jumano Moya no. Na me baswa, me bedrew and potem say a minina minimum ninkita home. Wadarum bro Miss Remo, o man penny, a good year I walk for my yetuno. On Kuntia, o man penny ka say. Me entusa agudie no ne Ghana man nyina sompe na ne megidi se mo anyinamfo ne Eastern region for atoy mantemfo ne Ghana manfo nyina so eyisi nyina so regional wo se eno de ye mpene so ene agudie a yetu ewo nsuo mu ana se yetu agudie a ye wohoro wo nsuo mu ana ye di djuma fa agudie ho a esai nsuo ana ye forest reserves eno de modawroma
odawo mo aburo no de man ka na me boy no de aban na ni abere den se no yempene ne nti a yempene so no se eno ye da ate asem de yeka se ya nhwe ne anka ho asem a beduru mire bi nsuo kura ye nom no ye nya bi nom me ni sojafo nante de ani ehui minyaaya minim se munim na nso minyaaya anka ye mo tena plane nimbi na mo anka se mo ahwe se ne am pote maye enyefe sebe nyefe enti me pese me srem pi mo anka sa mo nye ayi association mo nka mo hummom omo be ye adwuma ne de sei mo dwuma no mo amu yi omo ma na mo amu nka se mo mpene na mo mboa aban no na eso ntimi emmoa mo medam asenya mihira mo pa
yada ye minister asipi ne omampani na na do dankwa kufuado senia anamona wotunu osambre na nia ayame dekra ni se sabe nyase bia omampani etia se yebetu efom agudie no ontia demom yensu ahoro na ene ye kwaye a enam so ma garamsefo aseni na no eno ho anamontu na omampani ne mpanimfo yi wo mo etu na yada omo ati bebre ye wa yibesem se sa na montu nananom assembly members ne mpanimfo ye hyemu nyina ye nyina ye de ho bagim ne aboa ne ahwe ama yetimi etu sa garamse na ese yensuo ne yenkwaye no
ye banka hana ye ko ye ononyamfo Clement Wilkinson no ye ga West Aban Krachi na ne se mo ka nyina ne se sa Fuse the Country campaign akoso no wono nso e wadwenkyere bi ene de obetumi akafa ho na ne se mo ka no bi nie
Empenyi si bonso monye nipa enti Abakra chipenyi ede ema adeshi omo ga West Messenim onmonya for Clement Wilkinson ede atuga na fo anim se yentai abano achi na onye mpuntudwuma bebre emfandom ye wose ade ba ko edi Ghana nya sesia no eye galamse enunti no ese Ghana fo nyina de ye ho agimoni ye ko etia ese se galamse esensase esemfu no baye na afenso ese yensuo ene ye kwaye brentu ahodo no se ya hwe ampene nya gubre entem anso ano edu ha kase ebebreye
me apart from papa kura se kasa me nim bia nti so bia kasa bitu galamse a me nim bia tu galamse no na me kwa me suro because me kwa me ko tunkrofo se ye yi nkrofo TV so no mo ho afisa na me bisa se e de nko a nti kejemfo na se mo ka se MPP for na yes adwuma ne bepe no me mo de me hye dante but se ono ni mo sankrofo no a so o ka so betuma bo mo din we simple because so am Obiyaa din now allegation no raw sadia ntimi mfa but omampani say galamse ni yenyai ese so Obiyaa tia say no jai mining no people I mean nkofo a omoye mining no monim say omoye no say ya ka mining na ukọ boase say ya mining ho ukọ baby bebre omoye mining ho tititi nya mining ho but say Obiyaa mining 2 kilometers away no atwe nsuo afi nsuo no no asan adavert the same issue no esan the consume no I know the wicked person on say the meche no nti no sa galamse asem no de ye be sero bia omampani se yenyai me se me gyan me tubi amejai me tubi nti me kwa me ma de fa ni se jai nti me tubi
ya to aso dia na ye ko akakopie mu atoye atifido mantam eye Western North na ho na sahwimrewa eye adehia wo mo ho etu ntasikoko ede aba monten ya wo mo ekire mu se mining company bia ewo ho no ese wo mo nsase pa enu ntino emfanyimfo emehwe na wo muntumi emwa wo mo
Abraban eni abre ede kokobo abasa obiada enya galamse eye no embabunu no ekire mu se adwumaku ani din eni ko antwi mining company ni die omuguso moye adwuma e wokwa ibrenti onim omuso ko adwuma ne site sesi amikase ya excavators beye aduonu 20 ne yi afiri wono manunti hu so mo eye adwuma naso eduru anadwoa na kwanchefo panyi edema adwumaku no a ye frɛ ne se Kofi Diesel no edi animu eni machumenfo kitetu ejina kwaye ni mo mutufu magudi a enamra kwan so emabunu ne se omase omu ensuo ni kwa ibrento bebrento omu se abanu se wonhwe enye bibi emfa wanya sa okon no enkosiaga
yenim se Obiyaa mine a ukotwa yipie oba ahimfie ma nananum san ma ya himfia osi ha yipie ye hubi uko follow so ko bisa da ma to ba kwabo ye ma mba ho wa be bisa bibia ye kwaye no na na do ka so wo nko no ye kwaye masi makuma 29 ana wo fala se ana wo di dia eti ye slay you before esle na na do se officer oboya ne a ha so ye forest area ye slay no na ka se ye mra galamse na ye so nam se ye mpe galamse na ye boa se ye boa na ye ne nana atu galamse fo na se ono an kasa fa ne nkrofo apam soja atade a hye wo mo omo ba se soja fo aba se omo be pam wo mo sa ye omo an kasa nkrofo na omo hye soja atade no eno nti omo bedru omo janhye ho na ena omo sa da omo koye omo fa matwomanfo a ye an kasa ye kwaye na ye tonja wo ha ye body ne ya dua ne wo ho no omo ma ye nko ho ko ho ne ya twu sutuo enti ye sere na na se ekwaye a kwantwi wode ye fa so no wode otutu wode asokwa da ne ya chenchena ti anu ye se bibi de mane ye ba ye ne ha ye hu ya baba bi de kwantwi wasu wo betu galemse ye so aban ma ye forest bi ni e dua ni abani afa ya duane enti se se forest na ye dua no o ma di wo nyina fa ko afu ma bodyguard no o ma onko enti se ye ti fie ya ko afu ye nya duane ni na ko afu ya fu na ya no ma tu ni nyina gu ya ba forest fu amane a wo mu ya ya enti ye ni prepa afredi Obiyaa Obey man no gam say best 28 ai excavator 28 afredi China for o kasa sina no de China for o kasa no de China for se so ko ya sa se ba ye do afu no a wasani na ye ka so one man na do skama ye campaign enti se no ni ko fo ina o se from dumre na so mo mre na aba enti mo du o mre na ti se ka ho asem a etio obi ti mi ko afu mo ho o kwa etio obi tuo na kwa so enne ye ka se ya ye ko fo se ye ko no ekuma fo ye se enti aso ye ko
galamse sem media me say okono ese edane oman ko nse se ye fa ne se bia aban bi na nya ye nyino bia nya ne fam de mfa mo pa san se bebia ne meke ko no se ya hwe ye kakra bia enu be mfi miensa na num enan kra we
ese kra
na be yire nso empare ye tie ntwe ho ye ba ka se bo ne beto aso